Hi, I'm Pikarar. I do digital illustrations and make stuff and things, and sometimes I do crafty things like these guys. In this video, I will show you how to get these 3D models without 3D programs like Blender or Womp. You can turn them into stickers or images. I'll go over materials, photography, editing your photos, and other tips. The materials you will need are clay, a camera or phone, and an editing software like Procreate or Photoshop. Make a model the old school way, aka use clay. Arguably, you could say this is harder than using a program, but if you're like me and more into crafting than learning a new software, this is the process for you. You can use any kind of clay. I use Sculpey because it's very easy to find at art stores and affordable. Try to get white or a bright color, which is important for a later step. You don't have to bake them unless you want to immortalize or paint them. I personally baked them because I wanted to paint them later and keep the original molds. Next, photograph your model. I recommend a background that is easy to edit out, so a color that is bright or contrasts the model. Get lots of different angles. Try a 360 view. This way you will have lots of options to choose from. This next part is a bit tedious, but also very satisfying. Import all of your photos onto your editing tool. Open up the levels, grab this color picking tool, and select the brightest area in your clay model. It's going to brighten your image based on the area that you chose. You can continue to pick around and get to a lighting that works for you. Some suggestions I'll have is don't go too bright to the point where your image looks way too contrasted, but don't go too dark where it's hard to see your image. So something in between like this. Then you're gonna edit your model. Unless you're super neat, which you can see I am not, I got a lot of dust on my model, so I start to use the stamping tool and remove those dust particles. You can also fill the areas with content aware and it will remove the dust for you. Once you have a clean model and your image is bright enough, you should be able to use the wand tool to select your image and remove it from the background. You can continue to adjust the lighting. I open the hue and saturation panel. Again, get it to a point where it's clear what the model is, dark enough to see the shadows but not too dark to where it's too muddy. And now you have a clay template. Do this for every clay model you have, and then you should have an army of templates that you can use. Now that you have your templates, use the selection tool to only select the areas of the model. I did this by selecting the background and then inverting it so that only the model is chosen. Which you can see here, I filled it with one color and it's only filling the model area. When you change the layer style to multiply, you can see that the color is applied nicely on top of the template. Now you can just start drawing. You can erase, add more colors, add faces and little details. You'll notice that some of the edges might be a little rough, and this just depends on how much you have edited or used the wand tool when you were selecting the original model. You can clean those up if you want. For the purpose of this demonstration, I won't go too deep into that, and honestly, I didn't clean up all of my models because I kind of like that they were a bit rough. Here's an example of all of my little models after I have painted on top of them. Not only did I use this method to make stickers, I also used it to create the categories on my website. I thought it was a fun way to make the icons and they look really special and unique. Another thing that you could try is to apply non-clay elements to your clay templates. So what that means is, for example, on this home goods icon, I actually included a digital print that I drew separately and then I applied it on top of the clay. So how you would do that is same method as before. Edit your clay template, add any additional colors or designs you want, and then take another digital illustration that you might have done separately, skew it and mask it on top. Instead of using multiply, I used overlay for the layer style. That's just a personal preference. You can play around with the different layer styles, but for this one I felt like overlay was the best option. And then you're just gonna want to clean it up to a point where it looks like it actually is sitting on the clay. Another thing you can do is also add other images on top of the clay. So here I have a sticker that I stuck on the template. I added a drop shadow too to make it look like it's holding it. For the accessories icon, I added a lanyard and keychains. So yeah, you can get pretty creative with the type of things that you mix and match with your clay templates. And that's really it. You can keep the images as a template and continue to reuse them to make more models, or you can paint the originals and photograph them too. That's something I have yet to do. They're just all blank for now. If this was helpful for you, please like and subscribe. Leave a comment if you have any questions. I'd be happy to help. Also, I'm trying this animatic thing. Kind of fun. Okay, bye.